Hello and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. Thank you for joining me today because we are very excited here in Symply 2 headquarters because after last week's show where the microphone was terrible, Billy went out and bought me a new fabulous microphone. Yay! So hopefully everything's going to work from now on. I'm sorry about last week's show. We didn't know that was happening until we actually finished the show. But today I'm going to be making a recipe. We're delving into book 7. This is the book we're going into today, and we're making a great winter dinner, and it's Drover's potato pie. Now, I've never made this on the show before, and I think it's a fantastic homey recipe, and it's just delicious and really easy. And it's one of those ones where I grate the veggies in so it fools the kids a little bit if they're not good on veggies. So let's just talk about the winners from last week's show. And once again, I apologise for the microphone. Hopefully you can hear me really well now. Last week was the chicken laksa out of book 3. It was also in Cooking Fauna 2. And the 3 lucky winners was Deborah Sheldon, Carol Martinella, and Gail Wynerd. Well, Gail, well done for winning, and of course you can win this week as well. Now, the recipe that we're going to make is just the ingredients we need. We don't need an oven or anything like that. All we need is a cooktop. But before we get into the recipe ingredients, can I just brag for a moment because I'm a bit excited because my measure spoons have arrived. That's right, the Symply 2 good ones that go up and down so that they help you with your measurements. Like, how else are you going to get 1/8 of a teaspoon of chili doing it this way? It's fabulous. So this is the measure spoons that you can get. Now, as a set, you know, you get the teaspoon and the tablespoon, as well as I've secured a few of these. That's right, the watermelon chopping board. I know, it's fabulous. I use it every week on the show and I thought, why not get it? Look, it's double-sided. It's available. Have a look at it at simplytoogood.com.au/shop and you'll see them both there. So, okay, Drover's potato pie. Yeah, what do we need for it? So we need some mince. In this recipe, I'm using lamb mince. You can, the variation is beef or chicken. I'll tell you about that later. But here we're going to use 500 grams of lean lamb mince. You want 3/4 cup of onion diced. You need zucchini and carrot, and we're going to grate them. You want frozen peas, some grated cheese. We're also going to need some stock powder, and I'm using the Marcel beef one because I like that. It's a lower sodium one. Worcestershire sauce, oyster sauce. We've got some water, pepper, corn flour, and some potatoes. Now, to make it a bit easier for the show, I've actually already done the potatoes ahead. So what you need is 650 grams of small potatoes. So you can see that they're not big because it's just, I'll show you at the end. All right, so you need smaller potatoes. And what I've done is I've cut them thin, about 3 centimetres. Centimetres, about 3 millimetres. Oh, Bill's laughing at me. So you want them a bit thin, and what you do is once you've peeled them and you slice them, you put them in a little bit of water in the microwave, and you cook them for about 7-8 minutes, depending on your microwave. It's up to you. And then what you do when they're just cooked, because you don't want them too soft, otherwise they'll break up. You just want them just cooked. You then will rinse them under the cold water and drain them, leave them over to the side so that you can pop them on at the end. Alrighty, so let's get started. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the onion first and get that out of the way. I need 3/4 cup. And thanks for joining me today. If you're just tuning in, we're making Drover's potato pie out of book 7. It's a bit fabulous. And I just thought it'd be a really good one for winter. And hello to those in lockdown. I feel you. It's just been a very hard time. I know we were supposed to have people arrive yesterday for my daughter's belated 40th birthday. Yes, she didn't have it last year because of COVID, so she said, Mum, I still want to do my 40th. And I went, yes, you shouldn't miss out. So we were doing this Saturday, and of course, we're still doing it. We're still doing it. It's a fancy dress. I'm a bit excited. But unfortunately, a lot of the people that are interstate aren't going to be there, which is such a shame. And you ask yourself, what am I dressing up as? Well, the theme of the show is the party is come as your favourite movie character. Isn't that a fun one? And so because we're kind of doing the catering, I wanted to be comfortable. So I'm going as Alice in Wonderland. Oh yes, I got my blonde wig and everything. And Bill's going as the Mad Hatter. So we're looking forward to that. Okay, enough chatter. 3/4 cup of diced onion. Here we go. Now what we're going to do is we want to grate. Let me put that in my sink. We want 1.5 cups each of zucchini and carrot. Okay, and this is where I love these ones because we can trick the kids a little bit. So let me put my knife there, and we're going to just grate 1.5 cups. So it's just one of those great ones where it's all in the whole thing. And how it works, if you don't know this recipe, what it is we're making the sauce. We've prepared the top, and what you do is once you put the sauce in the container, we then put the layers of potato and cheese on the top, and you just put it under the grill. That's right. So it doesn't go in the oven. It's just great. I love it. And as I said, you can make it with other mince. You know, you could change it to Drover's chicken potato pie, or the mince could be beef, but always get the lean. Let me have a look here. We want one, and I always press the old zucchini down. 1.5 cups. And I hope everyone's doing okay in lockdown. I know that it's New South Wales is going through a lot right now, and I'm just sending you all lots and lots of love. All right, there's 1.5 cups of zucchini. And it's a little bit messy, but who cares? All right, so we now do the carrot. So maybe this is a recipe you get your family to help you make if you're in lockdown, because this is the thing, you don't want to be overeating in lockdown and eating those packets of biscuits for comfort. What you need to do is be cooking some healthy recipes like I'm doing today to fill in some time. All right, so now if you like the idea of this Drover potato pie, out of book 7, serve 6. There's some other ones that are a bit fun too that you might like that are sort of on the similar theme. And I've got shepherd's pie, which is in book 2. That uses beef mince, and you do lots of veggies in that one, a lot of veggies in the shepherd's pie. And then that's in book 2 and Cooking for One or Two. And then you've also got, we need a bit more of that. We also have the potato meat pie, which doesn't really have vegetables in it. It's like a proper potato meat pie with the pastry. That's in book 3, and that's yum, and so much healthier than the normal potato meat pie. I've also got a red salmon potato pie, and I do love that. I've made that on the show, and it's fun and fabulous. That's in book 4, and let me see how I'm going here, because I'm just doing it on top, so I need this to be 3. I think we'll need a little bit more. But you could also, I love giving you variations and different ideas. And so instead of the normal potato, you could use sweet potato or do a bit of both, which could look very pretty and fun. And if you've got a vegetarian in the family and you're thinking, oh, I just can't really do the meat with it, then what you could buy is the plant-based mince that you can get, and just swap that, a packet of that, and you're good. Yeah. All right, so let's wash my hands and let's move this over and let's start cooking. All right, let's fire this up. So what you do, as you know, I love to get everything ready, put it all out. It just makes life a heck of a lot easier, that's for sure. So what you start with first is you get some cooking spray, and I'm using my Neoflam wok for this because I want to be able to stir it around. It says a pot, but I use a wok like a pot, doesn't matter. And I use the rice bran spray because it's just better in this, really good quality pot. And so we throw in the 3/4 cup of the onion. My gosh, it's so good to be cooking with you on Thursdays. Thank you for joining me. And if you have a recipe that you'd like to see on the show, email admin@simplytoogood.com.au and tell us, and we'll see if we can fit it in for you. All right, so now we're going to put the meat in, and I just don't throw that whole chunk in. I want you to just put little bits at a time so it breaks it all up. And as I said, the lamb, which is the recipe that I'm making, the base recipe, that's 8.1 grams of fat a serve. If you wanted to put the beef mince in, it would be 6.6 grams. And if you want to use the chicken, it's 9.1. Hello, if you've just joined me, I'm just chucking a whole lot of lamb mince in my wok. One moment. And we're making Drover's potato pie out of book 7. Okay. Smells great. I mean, lamb mince is just available in all the supermarkets, so it's not hard to find it. And it just gives you something a little different, doesn't it? So I'm now just going to brown off the mince. I might even turn that up a little bit. And as I said, we've got our veggies here, so let's bring them over because they'll go in next. And it's just really goes all in the one pot for the filling. Now I've got my dish ready to go as well, which is this. It's actually the one we used in the photo in book 7, because when I was looking at it, I said, oh, that dish looks like a good size for it, Billy. And he said, I think we've still got it. So he found it. Now, have you noticed something? I'm just wondering if you're very familiar with this recipe, you may notice that there's an ingredient missing. Well, what's missing is the Parisian essence. Now, what that is it's like it's called like a gravy browner. And in the old days, you know, my mum used to make her own gravy at the end of a roast. They'd put some water in, you know, with the fat from the roast, and some corn flour or flour, mainly flour, and then put in some of the Parisian essence to give it a darker colour. Now, I use Parisian essence in a couple of recipes, in this one, and also, if I can remember, I think it's just in the Christmas cake. Yeah, so it's in the Christmas cake because, you know, most people want a darker Christmas cake. But unfortunately, Queens, the only people that sell it in, you know, to the domestic market, have discontinued it. Thank you, Queens. So now it's, like, you look at the picture, it's actually quite dark, but it's not. It's quite light now because of the Parisian essence. All right, so that mince is looking great. In goes, no, the peas. In goes the peas. So just toss them through. And they'll cook, they're frozen, they just need to cook a little bit, which they will do in the pan. So you've got 3 veg in here, forgetting the onion. So you've got the peas, you've got the carrot and the zucchini. So it's a really, you know, jam-packed, got everything in it. In it goes, boom. Let me move this away. And, you know, if you wanted to make it easier, you could even do this in a food processor, you know, where you can grate your veggies quite easily. But all I'm doing now is combining those veggies in. And because they're grated, they'll cook really quickly as well, which is great, because we don't put them in the oven. This is the only time that they'll be cooked, is while they're in this pot. So you want to make sure you cook them through. All right, so, and you really need to combine and mix that through so all the vegetables break up. And as you can see, look there. See what I'm doing? I'm mixing it through so the carrot and the zucchini and the peas are all going through, mixing through beautifully. And you're going to cook that for probably about 5 minutes, because you want to cook off the veggies a little bit. So while that's happening, let's do another task. while this is cooking, and I'm just going to come over every now and then and, you know, give it a stir so those veggies are cooking. All right, so what we're going to do now is make up the sauce that goes in the wok. So we need a tablespoon of the beef stock powder. Now that goes in your water. You want 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. So let's just get 3 tablespoons. 1. Can you believe I've got a daughter that's 41 on Saturday? My goodness. 2. 3. Okay, now I'm going to just stir it, so just hang in there. And actually, because we're kind of making it a really easy catering deal, would you like to know what we're making? Well, we're doing lasagna from book 1, because everyone loves lasagna and you can help yourself. And I'm doing vegetable lasagna as well. And I'm going to do gluten-free pasta in the vegetable one, just in case there's anyone that's got a gluten problem, because you just never know. And I'm going to make a nice salad. I'm making my low-fat garlic bread. It's going to be just yum. All right, so now we need 1.5 tablespoons of oyster sauce. There we go, 1. And you know, you can push these down so you can push it out a bit. And now we're going to do 1.5. So we want half a tablespoon, which is actually 1.5 teaspoons if you wanted to know. And in goes the oyster sauce. I'm always a little bit careful when I do recipes with oyster sauce, because they really do add a lot of salt or sodium to the recipe. So if you think, gee, why isn't she putting more in? It's because I'm looking after your heart health here, people, as well as your waistline. All right, some pepper. I just like the bit of cracked pepper in there. And just whisk it. No. Oh, where is it, Billy? Oh, yes, it's hiding on me. All right, so those veggies will be done now. What we've got to put in now is the corn flour. So I've just mixed that up. You just got to do 4 tablespoons. So get a dry spoon. Gosh, this smells good. So you want 4 tablespoons to go in here to thicken it up. And I always push it to the side so I get a flat. 1, 2, 3, and we're nearly done with the sauce, so this is great. Okay, now that's where my whisk will really come in. And I would have put Parisian essence in, so if you do have any, it's a teaspoon. Treasure it if you've got it, because you won't be getting it again. Okay. So now what we've got to do is you've just got to wait for this to boil and thicken, and then we can pour it into our container. Let me just clean up my mess here. My goodness, Annette, my goodness. Let's get this out of the way. I tend to be a really quick cook, so I tend to throw things all over the place. Hey, it's nothing wrong with being a quick cook, is there? And then once this is ready to go into the dish, I'm going to show you how you do your potato top. Now what you'll do at this point is I'm going to throw my grill on. I've got it ready there, because what we'll do is we will put it under the grill to brown the cheese. So you want everything to go in like hot if you can. Like normally what I do is I've got these cooking while this is going on, and so they're just rinsed and they're ready as well. So it's trying to getting the two together at the same time, but you do want to rinse the starch off, and also that will help being able to touch it, because otherwise it would burn your little fingers. This is looking great. So just remember, this is the lamb variation. You can do beef or chicken if you wish. And as I said, with the vegetarian, you'd replace the mince with the plant-based mince that you can buy in the freezer section. That's probably the best one, I think, to get. All right, we're done. All right, so I'm going to now pour it. Let me just move that away. I'm going to just carefully pour it into this container. Let me do this. Look at that. Fantastic. Woohoo. What do I do with my little scraper? I can't find things today. I had it out. All right, so there's our dish ready. I don't need this anymore, so let's get rid of this out of the way. So I've got lots of lovely room. So excited to cook this recipe for you today, guys. Thanks for sticking with me, even when last week the sound wasn't that great. All right, there it is. Now remember, this is served 6, so it's a nice amount. And what you do is you get your potato and I'll do 3 rows, and you just lay them on top of, like just layering them like I'm doing now. So you get a pretty little, you could see in the picture, if you've got the book, you'll know what I'm talking about. But I just like to put them fairly close together, because remember, this is the potato that you're going to get when you serve up. Yes. And you could, as I said, you could do it with sweet potato. You probably wouldn't cook the sweet potato as long, because sweet potato cooks quite quickly. And all we're doing is just layering, making it look very pretty. And the potato's cooked, okay? You want the potato cooked. You don't want it raw. So, but you don't want it overcooked, because then you're gonna, it just kind of breaks up in your hands. So I found that out once myself when I was making it. So I'm speaking from experience here. And I've got a feeling you'll probably make yours look a little bit prettier than mine, because I'm rushing here. But it's all about getting the potato out. I mean, obviously I should, if you have too much in your first go, then go over it. Absolutely. And how great does this look? I mean, you could, if you really couldn't be bothered, you could just mash your potato like you do on shepherd's pie if you really wanted to. I just love to give you different options, because we like variety, don't we? All right, so looking a bit fabulous, people, I'm telling you. All right, so there's the potato done, and all you have to do now is put your cheese over the top. Now it's half a cup of the low-fat cheese, freshly grated, or 50 grams if you wanted to weigh it. And because it's winter at the moment, you know, we're wearing our thick jumpers like I am today, because it's even cold on the Sunshine Coast. I would serve this with vegetables in the winter, and in the summer, it's great with salad. All right, so let me open up my thing. Into the oven it goes, but it's only going under the grill. It takes a little while to actually brown it up, but I'm just going to put it like that. Now, to save time, I did make some up ahead. So let me show you how fabulous it looks. See, look how beautiful and golden brown the cheese is. And there is my beautiful Drover's potato pie. And I've just done some beans and cauliflower. I'd probably, you know, I was thinking about, well, there's carrots and zucchini. What else would you put with that? I'd love to know, if you could put your comments. What veggies would you serve with this? Because it's got carrot and zucchini in it already. Okay, so I thought beans and cauliflower, but I wouldn't mind another veggie there, because I do like my veggies. I'd probably do Brussels sprouts, but I don't know whether you would. But like, fill your plate up with the veggies. There's your complete meal there. You've got your protein and your carbs. Fill up your plate with your veggies. Book 7. If you want to win Book 7, you know what you got to do. You have to like, share, and in the comments, look at this. It's a bit messy. Let me clean it. You've just got to write in the comments, hashtag Symply Too Good. Remember with the Y, the two, hashtag Simply Too Good. Write that in the comments and I'll pick 3 people and you go in the draw to win book 7. That's right, this is the book you want. I mean, when you look at this dish, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? It's a bit fabulous. Now, what am I making on next week's show? Oh my gosh, I'm making a fantastic Thai dish. It's Penang chicken. Now, this is one that is probably, I was talking to someone that owns a Thai restaurant. They said it's one of the most popular things people order, but it's very high in fat. So I'm going to take you down my road of making Penang chicken the healthy, low-fat way. It's actually in book 4 and in Cooking for One or Two. So you can try it depending how many people you're cooking for. I give you the option. Now, if you want any more tips or recipes, you want to check out my fabulous measure spoons and the chopping board, the watermelon chopping board, go to simplytoogood.com.au. You'll find it all there. I'm just going to have a little check. How's it going here? Yes, that's melting away there. What you want to do is make it nice and brown. See how I've got it nice and brown, and you're good to go. Alrighty, so I will see you next week, Penang chicken, and thanks for joining me. Take care. Stay safe, everybody.